Hello, I just thought today I would make a little tutorial trying to explain MySQL injections a little bit more for people who aren't very experienced with them. Okay, so let's consider the following. We have a login page here. We got standard login guess, just something random, and it doesn't work and it spits us back out. Now, we are experienced hackers to an extent, so we got some bypass strings, right? We got our handy admin single quote and our comment, or admin single quote or true, and then we have what is the original MySQL query that's actually inside of the code. So before we get into this, let's go ahead and just look at the website a little bit more. So we have a login page here. We don't have any way to register, but we do have our handy dandy bypass string, which in this case, of course, does work. And we have our cool kids list. Let's dig into this further. So here is the code for the login page that we just saw. And we can see inside of the code, we can see the famously vulnerable SQL syntax right here. So if you don't already know, I'll give a brief explanation about why this actually works. So we have our bypass string here, and we have the original MySQL query, right? The original MySQL query inside the code. And then this is what is actually ran inside of MySQL when a user makes a guess on an admin password. And I'll go ahead and just demonstrate that. I already loaded the database. So we run that and it doesn't work because that password is inaccurate. But with our login string, we can see here, this is what becomes sent from our post data, and it's also what's literally ran. It's literally ran like this with, well, I guess I can remove some of the spaces. The spaces to demonstrate that this is your user input. This is you inputting the bypass string. And this was the original SQL. So let's go ahead and just demonstrate this. And we can see that it works. Let's dig in deeper about why this works and what we're trying to accomplish. So our new goal is to write ourselves into this cool kids list. Now, to make it a little bit easier, I did give the column information and the table name. Let's go back to the login page. So we need to change the original MySQL query to do a insertion. Now, if we were to run this command just by itself, you can see one row affected, and just to demonstrate it worked, we can see our test entry at the bottom. And the cool kids list page simply collects the information from that table and then outputs it. That's all it does. And if we use our bypass to view the cool kids page again, we can now see our entry was written. Can you write yourself onto this list? I want to teach now about the main thing that really confuses beginner hackers and separates the beginners from the more experienced people, and that's or and statements and related and how they actually function. Now, to make this a little bit easier, I'm just going to paste the original SQL syntax here. So everything here, these lines, these are all of our original information or our original input, right? So like this would be our bypass string, and then we're expanding it. And I want to demonstrate why each of these attempts, right? For example, here's an attempt. So we're trying to insert into the database. In this case, it'll just enter, I'll make it test2. We can see it doesn't work. Let's talk about why the following solutions here don't actually work. Okay, the first problem that we have here with the first string is we're trying to stack multiple queries inside of our one request. Because remember, at the start of this, right, this isn't the start of the SQL command, this is. So it would be select star from users where username, and password, right? Except for we're injecting into here. So none of that matters. So for this one, it would be select star from username where username equals admin single quote or, and then continuing onward. So we're trying to do a select from users where username equals admin or this, and then we're trying to add an additional query. You can't stack queries through PHP calls to MySQL. Let's take a look at this next command here. So this is another command that you might think might work because we're not running multiple queries. So select star from users where username equals admin or 1 equals 1 and insert into this. The and here doesn't function how you think it functions. You can't just insert an extra and in order to have your query do multiple things. What's really going on here is we have this side of the code, right, where it's saying select where usernames equals admin or 1 equals this. And it's saying, or does 1 literally equal to 1 and this? That's how this is actually getting interpreted. I hope that makes sense. So next, we have a similar bit of code we can see here. And in this situation, we're trying to skip the or situation, but just like before, right? Just because we removed the or, we still can't stack this query. And the same thing goes for or. We can't use or in order to do multiple things also. By default, it would just try to do the select. It wouldn't do both things just by using or, just like it wouldn't do two things just by using and. That's not what the and is being used for in this in MySQL. One more thing that you might think would work. This is our user input right here. Admin or insert into this. This is a clever solution that I actually thought would work. I'm not actually entirely, actually no, I do know why this wouldn't work now, but my thought was that this, if it returns true, it would effectively just replace everything in here with a 1. So select star from users where username equals admin or 1. And I was hoping to get this to trigger by doing it like that. But again, it doesn't work. And the core reason why this particular one does not work is you cannot use an insert statement. You cannot use an insert statement inside of a where clause. So if you start opening a where, right, you can see this is a where. You cannot use insert inside of the where clause because the where is prior. We can't really modify this half the code. There's no user input right here for us to be able to change the where. We can only work with this half. Just want to demonstrate a little bit of information about MySQL, about how the and, the ors. I hope this video was useful. Leave a comment, give me some feedback. I don't make a lot of these tutorials. Let me know what you think. Thanks.